You're probably wondering why I'm talking in this format, why I even wanted to create the channel, what I wanted to do. I created the channel about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So when I created the channel, the intent was to review cars, talk a little bit about maybe what I do for a living. But then obviously that changed about 4 to 5 years ago. That's when I was really working at a company, which was Nike at the time. You know, I had a ton of stock, I had a ton of options, I was getting a ton of bonuses, and then eventually that scaled into like making a lot more money by working in other areas of like big data and things of that nature. And that ultimately led me to, you know, buying very cool cars, and then I started making videos on those cars. So then when I started making videos on those cars, I started realizing that wow, there's a lot of people that want to buy these cars. There's a lot of people that also are interested in the same things that I'm interested in when it comes to them asking me, how did you get the car? What do you do for a living? What kind of business do you run? And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video too, to kind of give you an introduction to myself. I started my first marketing and advertising company when I was right around 18 years old. You know, my parents got a divorce. I dropped out of high school, finished later online. But when I dropped out, I realized that maybe this could be a thing where I met this kid who was in software. And when I dropped out of high school, I was listening to guys like Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, one of my favorite pastors, T.D. Jakes. So when I was listening to these guys, I realized like, okay, a lot of these people are no different than me. You know, so when they're no different than me, I started realizing that I am the same as them and I could do it as well. So then that ultimately led me to when I started my company, my first marketing advertising company, I was 18 years old. And that ultimately led me to meeting a kid that was in the software world. And that's kind of where I started my career, building apps, learning everything on YouTube. And that's one of the greatest things in life today is that there's YouTube and social media to learn from people, right? But now it's starting to become a facade where you're not really sure who you're learning from. And I'm not here to teach another entrepreneurship project, another entrepreneurship post, another entrepreneurship YouTuber, whatever the case may be, where you're not sure what they do for a living. They're charging you $3.99 a month for a program. You're not 100% sure who they are, what they've done. You're not even sure what car they drive, where they live. You're really unsure because nowadays people can post a rented Lambo, a rented watch. You can do anything now that's not even yours, and then you're not even 100% sure on like who is this person and is it real or not. And those are one of the things I want to talk about was people are saying online right now to other individuals that you should be 25 years old and making $1 million. That's not true. You should have your own business. That's not true. That's not actually feasible because in my opinion, you haven't learned the skills that you need to learn in order to actually build something that's real and of quality that can ultimately last 5, 10, 15 to 20 years. You can make quick wealth or that's not wealth, quick riches, a quick $500,000 or $1 million, whether if it's in the stock market doing these stupid crypto plays, which you now see people falling off the face of the earth on. So these are a lot of things that I want to talk about on the channel, right? So, you know, this video, I titled it How to Make 2024 the Best Year of Your Life. And the reason for that is because I want to talk about some of the steps that have helped me. You know, step one is discipline, right? Like without any structure or process, I realized a lot of those things in my life that I wanted to do have failed. You know, so I need certainty in my process and in my structure. And I think that's the biggest thing for me personally is to understand that because when I do something, I need a structure and a game plan in order to achieve it. And a lot of times people go into doing something without a structure, without a game plan, without understanding what they even want to do and what that end result looks like. So it's like understanding what that end result is and then working your way in a step-by-step basis on just winning the day to get there. And then, you know, another thing is that you can be an intrapreneur in a company. That's a term that's used as somebody that's own or feels like they have some ownership as if they were the CEO and the founder themselves, but is an actual employee for the company. Those are some of the best individuals to hire. Those are the best people to work with. And those are the best individuals where you can go from making $100K or $80K a year starting at a company doing marketing, social media, could be entry-level sales, could be any of these type of jobs where you can take that and if you have that mindset and go to 300K, 400K, 500K a year, like I've done myself, because you're willing to put in the effort and the work and treat something as if it's your own. And that's really important too, because this is where the hard work aspect comes into place that's lost in today's society, right? And how you do that is I always tell people, find the fastest growing companies, go on Forbes, go on Inc.com, go on Fortune 500, these websites where you can say, find the fastest 25 growing companies that are in the marketing place. So find the fastest 25 growing companies in the tech space, the fintech space, which is financial technology, or find the fastest growing companies in AI. And then these are the kind of companies where you can get in on the ground floor as the first 50, 100, 150 employees to actually build something real and develop a skill set and a career that you could use later on in life when you do go start your business or whatever the case may be when you're 30 or 35 years old. So the last kind of step is that for me personally is that with all this information that's available readily to you at any given moment in time, like I kind of mentioned earlier in the video, is application. It means nothing without application. So without applying what I said above, it's going to mean nothing in terms of actually achieving, actually gaining the results that you want, actually changing your body to be fitter, to lose shape, to grow your financial situation and completely change it. None of these things will mean nothing without application. I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I really want to do this, but they never take even step 1 or step 2. It's like people are praying for a job, but they've never applied for it, right? It's similar concept where it's like you have to take the first 1 or 2 steps before, in my opinion, God helps you to take step 3, 4, and 5 to actually help you achieve what you want to achieve, but only if you're willing to take steps 1 and 2. And that's the most important thing that I want to talk about on the channel, and I want to talk about in videos, and I just want to talk about in general, which we'll get more into later on with financial educational videos, how to actually utilize your time the best, how to actually understand how to get the most out of your job, how to get the most out of your pay plan, how to get the most out of potentially like your 401k, then stock market and things like that I actually have done to make money for myself. So anyways, thanks for watching. If the video is any value to you, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, or don't do any of those things, because we actually make money in real life here, not just on the internet. That's not a thing. So